Welcome to today's session. Till now we completed oviparous and viviparous animals. Next, the reproductive phase is of variable duration in different type of organisms. So that differs in different types of plants, animals, etc. Females of placental mammals exhibit cyclical changes in the activities of ovaries, accessory ducts, and hormones. And these are named as estrous cycle and menstrual cycle. So these cyclical changes that take place in the females of placental mammals, and that is accompanied in the activities of their ovaries and accessory ducts together with their hormones, and these can be named as estrous cycle and menstrual cycle. First one is estrous cycle, also called just estrus. Estrous cycle, it is the cyclical changes in the ovary and accessory ducts and hormones during the reproductive phase of non-primate mammals. That is called estrous cycle. The animals those exhibit this cycle are deer, sheep, rabbit, etc. So those are non-primate mammals. And menstrual cycle, it is the cyclical changes in the activities of ovary and accessory ducts and hormones during the reproductive phase of primate mammals. That can be called as menstrual cycle. It is seen in chimpanzees, gorillas, humans, etc. So these are the two types of cycles that are taking place in mammals. One is primate mammals and non-primate mammals. In the primate mammals, it is menstrual. In the non-primate mammals, it is estrous cycle. Let us take the differences between the menstrual and estrous cycle. So let us make two columns, one menstrual cycle and estrous cycle. Number one, in menstrual cycle, it is the cyclical changes in the ovary and accessory ducts of primate mammals. The same point one in estrous cycle, it is the cyclical changes in the ovary and accessory ducts of non-primate mammals. In case of menstrual cycle, point 2, shedding of endometrium and breeding occurs. Endometrium layer is cleared off and breeding also takes place. In the estrous cycle, there is no shedding of endometrium and breeding will not take place. Next point, in menstrual cycle, females do not show irresistible sexual urge. In the estrous cycle, the females show strong, irresistible sexual urge. Next point, in menstrual cycle, there is no heat period and copulation takes place during any part of the menstrual cycle. And in the estrous cycle, there is heat period or heat production, also called estrus, at the time of ovulation, and copulation takes place only at this period. So the examples for menstrual cycle: humans, chimpanzees, etc. Is example for estrus cycle: deer, cattle, etc. Next thing is sexuality in organisms. Plants may be monoecious or dioecious. Plants can be classified as monoecious plants or dioecious plants. Monoecious plants are also called homothallic. Dioecious plants are also called heterothallic. Monoecious or homothallic plants bear both the male and female flowers. Example is cucumber, coconut. They are from the angiosperms, and chara, that is an example from algae. So monoecious plants can also be called homothallic. Dioecious plants are also called heterothallic. Here the plants bear either male or female flowers. Male plant bears male flowers, they can be called staminate flowers containing stamens only, and female plants bear female flowers, they are also called pistillate. So those flowers containing only pistils. The example for these dioecious plants are papaya, date palm, markantia. So here we have only unisexual plants. The plant bears either the male sex organs or the female sex organs, or male flowers or female flowers. And the same sexuality in animals, it is denoted by unisexual animal or bisexual animal. Unisexual animals have either of the male or female sex organs. Example, frog, cockroach, etc. And bisexual animals are also called hermaphrodites. They bear both male and female sex organs, earthworm, leech, etc. That's about sexuality in organisms. Hermaphrodites are the animals that are bisexual. The common examples are leech, earthworm. Next is events of sexual reproduction. The sequential events of sexual reproduction are pre-fertilization events, next fertilization, and post-fertilization. The first one, pre-fertilization event. So these are the events that occur before the act of fertilization. They can be classified as gametogenesis and gamete transfer, and that is followed by fertilization, and fertilization is followed by post-fertilization events. It includes zygote development and embryogenesis. Pre-fertilization events are the events that take place before the fusion of gametes, or these are the events before the union of gametes, and these are gametogenesis and gamete transfer. So pre-fertilization events are two. One is gametogenesis and next is gamete movement or gamete transfer. Gametogenesis, it is the process of formation of haploid gametes, that is male and female gametes. The process of formation of haploid male and female gametes is gametogenesis. Usually the individuals are diploid, so gametes are formed by meiosis so that they will be haploid. The diploid organisms produce haploid gametes by meiosis. It is common in pteridophytes and higher plants and higher animals. In such organisms, gamete mother cells, also called meiocytes, undergo meiosis to form haploid gametes. So in such organisms or diploid organisms, gamete mother cells, also called meiocytes, they undergo meiosis, and that way they form the gametes which are haploid, containing single set of chromosomes. So during gametogenesis, meiosis type of cell division occurs, or meiotic cell division occurs, and those gamete mother cells are called meiocytes. They are diploid and the gametes are haploid. In case of haploid plants, they produce the gametes by mitosis only. It is very common in algae, fungi, and bryophytes. So when the plant is haploid, it produces the gametes by mitosis only. But in diploid organisms, the gametes are produced by meiosis. And the shape and size of gametes differs in different organisms. Hence the gametes are named as isogametes and anisogametes. So on the basis of size of the gametes, they are named as isogametes and anisogametes. Isogametes are also called homogametes. These are the gametes where male and female gametes are exactly similar in shape and size, and it is very common in algae. Example is Chlamydomonas. And anisogametes are also called heterogametes. Here male and female gametes are dissimilar in the shape and size. The male gametes are usually called anthrozoids or sperms, and female gametes are called ova or eggs. So anisogametes are also called heterogametes. Isogametes are commonly called homogametes. Anisogametes are very common in higher organisms. And let us take the differences between isogametes and anisogametes. We need to make two columns. Anisogametes are homogametes, isogametes are homogametes, anisogametes are heterogametes. So we make two columns, isogametes and anisogametes. Isogametes are also called homogametes, anisogametes, heterogametes. Isogametes. Both male and female gametes are exactly similar in their shape and size. And in case of anisogametes, male and female gametes are dissimilar in their shape and size. And in case of isogametes, they are not distinguished, they are all alike. And in case of anisogametes, male gametes are usually called sperms or anthrozoids, and female gametes are called ova or eggs. And the common example for isogametes is Chlamydomonas, simple algae, and anisogametes, higher plants, or human.